Talking about that Road to Restoration Clinic tomorrow. I'm joined by Abigail Venman, the director of the Road to Restoration program, which is with the Department of State. Abigail, thanks so much for being here with us tonight on Evening Plus. This is a great resource for folks in the community, even if they're not able to necessarily get a license restored tomorrow. Information is really the other great piece of this. So who might be interested in this clinic happening tomorrow here in Grand Rapids?
Absolutely. We hope to welcome anybody who has questions about their driver's license and who aren't currently having valid driver's licenses. So folks who might be suspended, revoked, restricted, or folks who just have a question and maybe haven't had a license in a while and aren't quite sure what their next steps are. We invite them to come to the clinic and we can connect them with experts from the Michigan Department of State, volunteer attorneys to make sure they know exactly what they need to do to get back on the road safely and legally.
Yeah, and so this isn't a guarantee that someone will walk away with their license back in their hands, but at least information is definitely a guarantee tomorrow. What sorts of situations might someone be able to get their license reinstated tomorrow, and the situations that will not be possible for reinstatement?
Sure. For example, if folks have a suspended or revoked license, the process that they need to take to regain their driver's license would be to request a hearing. And there's a process and paperwork involved in that, so residents who might be having that on their pathway can talk to Department of State folks to understand exactly what they need to do, what paperwork they need to complete, what steps they need to take. Perhaps folks whose licenses are just expired and they need to retake their driving test, they can do that on site tomorrow, and we can get them their temporary instruction permit so they can get back on the road.
Yeah, lots of resources that are going to be available. And if someone is, if there's a possibility that someone can get that license back, there's some documents they need to bring with them. It would be a good idea to just bring those in the case that you are able to get that license reinstated. Can you walk us through what people need to bring with them in order for this process to go smoothly?
Absolutely. So anybody who comes to the clinic needs to bring some sort of identification, which could be an ID, a government issued identification, and that's just so that we can participate in the clinic overall, so we can help them purchase their driving record and really understand what's on their record. Folks who think that they might be eligible to get their license back are encouraged to bring their birth certificate or other proof of identification. That can include documentation that has their social security information on it, just anything that proof of residency, things that they might need to prove that they're a Michigan resident and that they are who they are.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe you don't walk away with your license reinstated, but this is really about information and resources and explaining the process. What will this look like for someone who shows up tomorrow? Who will they be meeting with? What will they be being asked of? Kind of walk us through that.
Absolutely. When folks first arrive, their first step will be to be checked into the clinic. From there, they'll go to our mobile Secretary of State, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's this incredible program through the Secretary of State where on wheels, it's exactly what happens in a brick and mortar office, except folks can do it on site. So
cool.
Folks will be able to purchase their driving record, which is $16. From there, they'll be able to speak with a Department of State expert to really talk through that driving record and understand what's there, what steps they need to take. There'll also be several volunteer attorneys there that residents can speak with if they have open actions or maybe failure to comply or failure to appear. They can speak with the attorneys to better understand what steps that they need to take or maybe what actions to address first to make sure that they're getting back on the road. We'll also have some community partners there as well. So Reentry will be there to help folks who maybe are on parole or probation. They have some resources available, as well as some interlock companies, folks who might need to have a device installed in their car. Some companies will be on site that can help residents understand what that process is and even make appointments if they'd like to have that installed on their vehicles.
Yeah, really a lot of information and resources, will be available for people. There are a couple of scenarios that this will not work for tomorrow, what's happening at the clinic. What are those?
So this is not an expungement clinic, so I want to be clear that we won't be able to take things off of folks' records, but we will be able to help folks understand what is there and what steps that they need to take.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned the driving record. You can pay $16 tomorrow at the clinic, or you can print that out ahead of time too. That would kind of get one step out of the way for you. As far as where this is being held, timing, you guys are taking walk-ins, but pre-registration is encouraged. You can do that right now. What details do people need to know?
Yes, so the clinic will take place starting tomorrow, Friday at 10 a.m. We'll be on campus at Grand Valley in the Eberhard Center, which is located on Fulton. There's free parking available in the Fulton parking lot across the street. Then folks will just cross the street, go behind the College of Engineering, and they'll find Eberhard Center. We'll be on the second floor. I know that might sound like a lot, but we'll have lots of signs so folks know exactly where to find us. We'll be there starting at 10 a.m. and we'll be welcoming walk-ins until 3 p.m. As long as we have capacity, but we really are hoping to welcome as many residents as we can. So if folks are maybe on the fence or they're not quite sure, we just encourage them to come on out and we'll chat with you when you get there.
And you do this all over the state. Obviously, we live in a big state here. This is not specific to just Grand Rapids. So events like these are happening all the time. You've held several already this year. What's really the purpose in holding this? Obviously the physical documentation, but what are you hoping this enables for people who are able to get that license reinstated?
Absolutely. Michigan is a driving state. Folks need to get to work, take their kiddos to school, get to the doctor's office, get to the grocery store, and not having a license really impedes that. So we're hoping that through the clinics we can provide information and access so residents can get back on the road safely and legally.
And aside from everything we've talked about so far, we have talked about the whole Real ID situation for months now, and that is also going to be an opportunity tomorrow, that if you've got the old license and you need the Real ID, which as we have mentioned here at 13 on Your Side, that is what is eventually going to be needed to travel domestically by plane. You can still kind of use your passport. They've sort of pushed that deadline a little bit, but ultimately that's the ID that we all need to be moving toward. You'll also be offering services to switch people over to that tomorrow.
Yep, the mobile Secretary of State can do that on site as well, so folks will need to, again, bring their identification, but folks will be able to enhance their driver's license on site if they need to as well.
Yeah, and that's a great thing to just tick off your list, so whenever we do see that more strictly enforced, everyone is good to go. All right, Abigail, any details that I forgot to mention or that you really want people to know if they're interested?
Absolutely. So I'm so grateful for this time. Thank you so much. We covered so much. The only thing I would maybe add is that, if folks aren't able to join us tomorrow, as you mentioned, we have clinics across the state throughout the rest of the season. So if folks are interested in kind of where we're headed next or when we might be back in the area, they can go to our website, which is michigan.gov/R2R. There, residents can see other cities that we're headed to, what other clinics are coming up, and they can also register for future clinics.
And that's the same website, too, that if someone wants to pre-register right now to definitely have a spot tomorrow, that's the way to do that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Abigail, thanks for walking us through this. This is a great opportunity for people to get back on the road or just get that ID switched over, which we know is important, too.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you being here on Evening Plus.
Thank you so much.